In the world of ancient philosophy, Plato stands as a monumental figure, offering us profound insights into human nature, ethics, and the pursuit of truth. One of his most intriguing and lesser discussed concepts is that of double ignorance. This idea is not just a critique of human knowledge but also a guide to understanding the roadblocks to wisdom. Plato, through the voice of his teacher Socrates, offers this notion as a mirror to humanity's condition, urging us to reflect on the difference between those who are ignorant and know it, and those who are doubly ignorant, blind to their own lack of knowledge. In this discussion, we will explore what Plato meant by double ignorance, how it manifests in everyday life, its implications for self-awareness, and its relevance in the modern world. At its core, double ignorance refers to the state of not knowing while simultaneously being unaware of one's ignorance. This condition is particularly problematic because it traps individuals in a false sense of wisdom. In Plato's dialogues, Socrates frequently engages with citizens of Athens who, despite their confidence, are shown to lack true understanding. Socrates reveals that the greatest danger is not ignorance itself, but the illusion of knowledge, the belief that one knows when one truly does not. To understand double ignorance fully, we must first appreciate Plato's concept of knowledge. In his view, genuine knowledge is connected to the realm of the forms, eternal and unchanging truths that are only accessible through reason and philosophical inquiry. Anything less is merely opinion or belief. Double ignorance represents a deeper blindness. Not only are people far from the truth, but they also lack the humility to recognize their distance from it. One of the most powerful tools Plato gives us to combat double ignorance is the Socratic Method. In dialogues like Euthyphro, Apology, and Meno, we see Socrates engage in what seems like simple questioning. However, his questions are strategic, designed to reveal contradictions in the interlocutor's thinking and expose their lack of knowledge. For example, in Euthyphro, Socrates engages in a conversation about piety, challenging Euthyphro's confident assertions about what is right and wrong. Through a series of probing questions, Socrates demonstrates that Euthyphro's understanding of piety is confused and self-contradictory. Euthyphro, who thought he knew the essence of piety, is forced to confront the reality that he does not know as much as he assumed. This technique serves as a perfect remedy to double ignorance. By asking questions, Socrates forces his interlocutors to confront their ignorance. The goal is not to humiliate but to encourage a deeper inquiry. It is only when we recognize our ignorance that we can begin to seek true knowledge. Plato's philosophy stresses that wisdom begins with an awareness of one's ignorance. In the famous Apology, Socrates declares that he is the wisest of men because he alone recognizes that he knows nothing. This paradoxical statement reveals the heart of Plato's critique. Wisdom is not about accumulating information but about cultivating a mindset of intellectual humility. Double ignorance prevents this process because it leads to intellectual complacency. Those who believe they already possess knowledge are less likely to question their beliefs, explore alternative perspectives, or seek deeper truths. This mental stagnation is precisely what Socrates sought to overcome in his dialogues. By embracing the Socratic principle of I know that I know nothing, we can begin to dismantle the barriers to wisdom. In Plato's view, true wisdom is not a fixed state of possessing answers but a constant pursuit of deeper understanding, rooted in the acknowledgement of our limitations. Although Plato wrote over 2,000 years ago, the concept of double ignorance remains highly relevant today. In the age of information, where knowledge is more accessible than ever, the illusion of wisdom can be even more pervasive. With vast amounts of data available at our fingertips, it is easy to mistake the acquisition of information for genuine understanding. Social media, for instance, often amplifies double ignorance by providing platforms where people can express confident opinions on complex subjects without truly understanding them. The echo chambers that form around certain ideas can reinforce the belief that one's views are correct, even in the absence of critical reflection or engagement with differing perspectives. This phenomenon is not limited to individuals. On a societal level, institutions, political systems, and cultures can suffer from collective double ignorance when they fail to question foundational assumptions or recognize the limitations of their knowledge. In such cases, progress and learning are stifled, as people cling to outdated beliefs or resist change. Plato's solution to double ignorance is not only philosophical but also practical. Education, when approached correctly, can serve as the antidote. However, for Plato, true education is not about the passive transfer of information, it is about cultivating the ability to think critically and question assumptions. In his dialogue Meno, Socrates famously likens teaching to guiding a slave to remember knowledge he already possesses. This metaphor suggests that true education is not about filling an empty mind with facts but about helping individuals uncover the knowledge they can arrive at through reason. This approach encourages self-awareness and intellectual humility, the very qualities that prevent double ignorance. Dialogue, too, plays a central role in Plato's vision of overcoming ignorance. Through meaningful conversations, individuals can challenge each other's assumptions, explore new perspectives, and arrive at a deeper understanding of truth. This process requires an openness to being wrong, a willingness to question one's own beliefs, and the courage to face uncomfortable truths. In conclusion, Plato's concept of double ignorance is a timeless reminder of the dangers of false knowledge. It warns us against the complacency that comes from believing we know when, in fact, we do not. Through the example of Socrates, Plato shows us that the path to wisdom begins with the recognition of our ignorance and the humility to seek truth through dialogue and reflection. In our modern world, where information is abundant but true understanding is scarce, Plato's insights are more valuable than ever. By embracing the Socratic method and fostering a mindset of intellectual humility, we can break free from the chains of double ignorance and begin the lifelong pursuit of wisdom. As you reflect on these ideas, consider how they might apply to your own life. What beliefs or assumptions have you taken for granted? How often do you question what you think you know? In the words of Socrates, the unexamined life is not worth living. Let us strive to examine our lives and, in doing so, move closer to the truth.